Welcome to the Aboriginal channel. This episode will be another read from 103 Amazing Facts about the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere. I'm going to be skipping some in this video because I want to get to what it says about Moors being American Indians, or the American Indians somehow being Moors. Number 32, the term Moor was applied to dark-skinned, brown-skinned, and reddish-brown-skinned people who were not only indigenous to Europe, but to West and North Africans. Even Black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were also dubbed with this title. Indigenous Black Celtics, Indigenous Black Britons, Indigenous Black Portuguese, and Indigenous Black Spaniards, all also known as Moors, had a long time knowledge of indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere. These Moors were well informed of the different customs, traditions, and languages of the natives of the Western Hemisphere. These dark-skinned Europeans, Moors, were used as buffers by pale-skinned Europeans to help colonize the New World. These indigenous Black Europeans, aka Moors, not only solicited the New World to pale-skinned Europeans, but also waged war on indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians. Certain Black indigenous Europeans, aka Moors, that went under such titles as clergymen and European nobility shared a common consciousness with pale-skinned Europeans. That common consciousness being that the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, were untamed heathen savages. Both dark-skinned and pale-skinned Europeans who were either Celtic, Briton, Gaelic, or what have you, who were fleeing religious persecution in Europe and were struggling to preserve ancient traditional customs, dubbed pagan ways, upon arrival to the New World, ran to the bosom of Black Indian nations indigenous to the Western Hemisphere soil, who still held on to and were practicing traditional spirituality. Both cultures were different. However, both were able to relate to each other's gods. Black Indian nations and different clans native to Europe both shared a common spirituality that centered around the forces of nature and the honoring of the ancestral spirits. And lastly, number 36, certain Moors helped to navigate Christopher Columbus's voyage to the New World. He wasn't lost. He knew exactly where he was going simply because of who was on the boat with him. I just read between 32, 33, 34, and 35, and 36. The one that I agree with is 32. The term Moor was applied to dark-skinned, brown-skinned, and reddish-brown-skinned people who were not only indigenous to Europe but to West and North Africa. Even Black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were also dubbed with this title. That's the one I agree with, more being representing a skin tone. So here I have a list of some early classifications of the American Indian. And in 1400 it says that they were classified with the word Moor, M-O-O-R, a dark-skinned person, not associated with Islam or religion. Then it goes on in 1540, it says Blackamoor was a classification of the American Indian. Then when you look up Blackamoor, they have this figurine right here that they're selling. It's called a decorative object. Venetian American Indian Blackamoor. Right here, feather crown and feather skirt. See, American Indian Blackamoor. Not to be confused with anything else. Through the history books, which has all been a lie. So therefore, if it's a lie, then what's the truth? If it's a lie, then what's the truth?